Good morning. So today we have a 2020 Audi A1. It's the 1 litre 3-cylinder. What we're going to do is we're going to do an oil and air filter service on it. So let's crack on. Open these up first, just to make sure we don't have any vacuum when draining the oil. We'll get it up in the air. Swap the camera around so hopefully you can see the sump plug today. You've got an under tray, T45s, T20, T25. Double check that. Trip to the bottom. Don't know why VW decided to use so many different fittings on their under trays, but hey ho. There you go. T20 will fit, but always best to make sure you don't round them off. Battery. Definitely tell it's a Monday morning. Obviously you can undo these by hand with a screwdriver, but there's that many of them, it just makes it a bit quicker and easier. Got like a little T20 screwdriver. As you can see, these front ones are a little bit rusty. Just make sure you've got it seated nicely, just so you don't round them. Turn a quick job into a nightmare job. It's only done 20,000 miles, this car. Our oil should be looking pretty good. Yeah, it's our T20. It looks like two are missing from the back here. They might be clips, actually. I think they are on these. T45. See if this little gun can get them. Sometimes they can be a bit tight. Luckily, these ones aren't. Okay. Have I missed a bolt? Have I missed a screw? Nope. Just the way it's hanging on. Just grab it, give it a bit of a slide backwards. All right, so you can see our oil filter is just a canister one. I'll need a pair of pliers or a strap wrench or something like that. And then we've got a 19mm sump plug on the back. So, pliers. You could use something like water pump pliers, or a strap wrench is up at the other side at the moment, but yeah, something like that. I think these are from Halfords, these. Yeah, they are actually. Actually work really well. As long as you can get access onto it, then you're all right. It's just when you can't get access and you're struggling, they're not the best. A 19mm spanner's just here because I'm just in the middle of another job, obviously. And what I forgot to do is put the gloves on. Always forget the gloves. So draining down a little bit. I'll pull that up so there's a drip there. Nappa filters, it wasn't last serviced at Audi anyway. Okay. Get this angled so this doesn't, might drop it down actually, just so it doesn't overshoot there. Right, so 19 now. There we go. That's why you wear your gloves. Give that a bit of time to drain. Okay, so we've left that draining for a little bit. New pair of gloves. Should have just kept my old ones on, but oh well. We grab our oil filter. You get your oil filter just side by side. So they're roughly the same. There are dips between each filter, but nice light film of oil. Just make it seat nicely. Get a good seal, what we want. Just thread it on nicely. Give it a good turn. Some. Got our sump plug there. Just give that a clean up. Make sure there's no damage to the threads. Anything like that. It's good. Get this start. Thread this in by hand. $19 mil. Turn. Right cleaner. Always give it a clean up first before put some oil in and start it. It makes it a lot easier to tell if you have got any leaks. So it's clean, so you've not got any oil like sat between the washer and the sump. Nothing worse than checking afterwards. There's a bit of oil between the washer and the sump. You're like, was that there? Did I clean it off? Did I not clean it off? You just make sure it's nice and clean so you can check it afterwards. Right? That's our oil drainer's job done. Go out of the way. Apart from the under tray, obviously this wouldn't really be a bad one to do on jacks and axle stands. Just getting that under tray off, which would be a bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. Sometimes those T45s at the back can be a little bit tight. That can make it a bit difficult, but you definitely get them off, no problem. Right, so got the car down now, need to get the air filter off. We've got a couple of hose clamps that we need to remove, which is a couple of different ways to do them, which I'll show you. So my favourite option is this. Just a ratcheting hose clamp remover. I just push that. Now that's locked in place. You can see I can move that clamp with that attached. Then you've also got these pliers where they have like a groove sat in them, which helps you grip them, which I'll do. So just grab it like that, nice and easy. Now, if you haven't got these, because they're a little bit specialist, you're just doing it at home, you can just use a normal set of pliers. If you get those on, obviously, that's done it, no problem there. It's just when you've got ones that are a bit awkward to get to, you can struggle with these. So if you're doing a lot of things like this, then it's always worth getting those pliers. Now, what we're going to do is we'll remove that. I'll remove this hose. I think these are back on these ones. Just pop that on there just so it doesn't overly close over to make it difficult to get on. Now, there's a T30 that sits down. Okay, there's supposed to be a T30 that sits there. Don't know if you can see just in there. See there should be a T30 in there, but ow. Well, looks like someone's made the mistake of thinking that it's just clips that hold it down. Right. Now, there's two clips at this top end. I'll show you now that T30. So there should be a T30 that sits in there. As you can see, someone broke the actual box there, trying to pull it out. So, yeah, not much more we can do. Looks like we've got T25s holding this. Just separating now. T25 or T20? T25s. Just a case of undoing these. They are designed that once they're undone like that, they won't actually come out of the housing. So you're not having to worry about flipping them over and losing them. Unlike, well, that one has for me, but they should just come about halfway up. Once they're out of the second part of the, once they're out of the bottom part of the material, they should just fit up. That one did come out a little bit. And that crafty one in the middle should just separate now. And there's our air filter. As you'd expect, 20,000 mile car. It's not going to be dirty, but we replace them anyway. Get it together, make sure it's nice, and then put them up. To be honest, if you're doing these with a gun, just turn your gun down a little bit, because it's very easy to over tighten them and crack the plastic on the other side. As you can see with this set down now, it's not applying much torque at all, and there's no risk of damaging them. They are just a self-tapper, but if you over tighten them, they can go through and crack the other side, which is not ideal. See, as you can see, that's holding that open, not having to mess with it is a handy thing though. Also for when you're doing work on things that you can't actually see, so down the back of an engine or something like that, where you know there's a clamp there, but you're just ever so slightly struggling with a pair of pliers. Let's get these bungs lined up, like so. And then we can release that. We can also use it on this one as well, so you get a better view. As I showed you with the other one, you definitely don't need them, but a lot of buying tools and things in this job, it's just making your life that little bit easier. We can release it. Snug, snug. Not much you can do about that. It's nice on there. Right. Let's get some oil in it. Right, so oil quantity. Basically, this is the app I use. Dead easy. I've got it on Haynes Pro and Autodata, but just when I'm next to the car, quickly go on my phone. I can check the capacity of the oil, which is its Castrol's own oil checker website. Pop that in, make sure it's the correct car. Gives you the oil and also your air capacity. So service fill on this is 4 litres. Some in. I hate these stupid easy pour spouts. This is Audi's wonderful green oil. Expensive, I know that. I'll always leave it just a little bit under the correct amount, just because if you've still got some oil sat in the car, you don't want to overfill it and have to drain some out. So there's 4 litres. I'll just leave it under that now. Cap straight back on that. Make sure nothing drops in it. Don't want to go wasting what we've got left, a litre of oil there, when it's £50 a gallon. Right. And then these are a bit of a slow fill, so just take it easy because they can blast back up the side like that. Just take your time, don't rush. That's why I always use these cans. I can pour a jug of oil, no problem, but you've always got that risk of just dripping it. And the way the cam covers are now, there's that many different shapes to them. They can literally run all over the place. And doing this, you can measure out how much you want going in prior to pouring. So you're not pouring, stop, check, pouring, stop, check. It's a lot more precise. Nowhere near as messy either. You just got to keep on top of the jug, make sure there's no contaminants in it or anything like that. Make sure you keep your caps on. Right. Straight away. Caps on. Same with your engine as well. Gonna do without pulling stuff everywhere is check our level. Obviously, it will still be draining down. We just wanted to make sure that it's got the correct amount in, enough oil to start it and check it for leaks, basically. So look at that there. Yep. Just right on the maximum there, which is great. We'll back in and start it up and check it for leaks. Right, so you've got the car back up in the air with the engine running. All we're going to do is just going to let it run for a little while. Make sure there's no leaks from either the sun plug the oil filter. Once again, there's plenty of places, plenty of people who won't have any issues. You just literally, once you put the filters on, put the sun plug on, put the cover back on, and that's it, job done once it's filled with oil. But I've always been a believer of always check the leaks, no matter how many times you've done the job. It's so easy just to blank it out, and only takes one time, and you could have a catastrophic failure on your hands. But for the time it takes, just leave it on the trailer, check it for leaks, and then at least you're happy that you know that it's not leaking oil. Nice and clean under there anyway. We'll get this tray back on. We'll get a couple of these larger ones that go at the back, and we'll get this into place. Now, it does have a couple of little helpers that slide under like that, and then we can get a little bit forward there. If we can get one of these in, this will hold it up while we do the rest. One. And we're going. Get one. Not wanting to go up then. Now there's a hook on the back, which pops into there. So there is a hook on the back there that clips in as well. Just a little tap sends it home. Right. Get our impacts and get this back on. 225 and our T45. Right. We'll pop those T45s in first. As I said, these can be quite tight sometimes, so you don't need to over tighten them. Obviously, there is a lot of screws that actually hold this up, so not quite sure why they actually did that with these. All the Audi seems to be the same. So I'm just going to go around. Once again, got this on a low setting as well. A lot of these fittings are going into like a little metal clasp that's not actually fixed. It tucks over the plastic of the bumper. And it's quite easily, when you're using a lot of torque on them, to make them slip and spin and damaging them. So always worth just taking it. They don't need to be super tight, just snug. Just go last two. That's our tray on. Bring her down, turn her off. We'll reset the service light and check the levels. She's good to go. Get these ramp legs out. Take the plugs off. So we've just turned the car off, letting the oil settle. While it is settling, what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in with the diagnostic, reset the service light. Now, the OBD port on these is on the right-hand side, just to the right of where your feet are, just in the plastic trim. I will do a close-up after just to show you. So that's him. Now, ignition on. This has got one of the full digital dashes, which are great. Real nice features to have. So let's plug this in and see what it says. There's my previous job. Start it again. So on these, this is the Autel MS909. So you can select it manually. Obviously, there's loads of different ones on here. Can make it a bit easier by going through America, Europe, Asia, China. Go on there, or just go auto detect. This will run through a little scan. So because it's an internal job, we go with standalone diagnostic, so it doesn't make a PDF report of it. It's already read our VIN number from the car. It's okay. Tells us it's an Audi A1 2019 onwards, vehicle years 2020. So if we just go onto the car here, setting and service, it brings up our next oil change and our next inspection. Now, on these, you can reset one of them through the car. So if I press reset on here now, do you want to really want to reset the oil change interval? Which you do, yes. I'll reset that. The one you can't do is the next inspection, which is what you need diagnostic for. So you can reset the oil one, like I've just done there. Or if you have the inspection light on, you will need a diagnostic to do it. If I was to do it, I can still do it through this, which I'll show you now. We go to Hot Functions, Oil Reset. And Auto Oil Reset. And that'll just run through the procedure of setting it again. But you can do the oil one on the car, which is always nice. But unfortunately, the inspection one, you do need a diagnostic. One of the bigger issues is on the later vehicles, this one doesn't, but they have a secure gateway, which needs to be unlocked, and you need tokens to access that. So I've got a package with Autel, which allows me to, it gives me unlimited number of tokens for the VWs, the Fiats, Jeep, the Nissans, Renaults, which allows me to plug in without having to pay each time. Not so long ago, I had a VW ID3 came in that had been inspected by ourselves, and the inspection light had come on. I couldn't reset that inspection light, even though the equipment was capable of doing it. I couldn't reset that inspection light without paying £10 to get a token. So it's just another way of making money out of you, making you go back to the dealership as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's the service light reset anyway.